Hold on to your hats, folks, because 1974's a wild ride. Wax masks, breakfast battles, and a kid strapped into his seat like a tiny, squirming burrito, ouch. Poor kids got more marks than a zebra after a brawl with Velcro. And mom, well, let's just say her hand has more force than a jackhammer. Fast forward to 2005, and we've got internship excitement, football frenzy, and a road trip with more baggage than an airline lost luggage department. A twin brother, a bail posting mystery, and a rap group that sounds more like a cat fight than a concert. Blake's rhymes are about as smooth as sandpaper, clearly inherited from the wrong side of the family. 6 people, 1 car, and a whole lot of drama. Buckle up, buttercup. Dalton's filming everything. Another sex tape, Paige? Seriously, dude, put the camera down. To speed things up, smooth operator Blake takes a shortcut, which, naturally, is blocked. Paige, meanwhile, is busy with Blake's lollipop. Camping it is, then. Next day, Trudy's house of wax, spooky. Pregnant bombshell alert. Carly's wondering if Paige has told Blake about the potential stock visit, but Paige is playing it cool, for now. Nick's facing Carly, car theft drama. Carly's all, it wasn't me, but seriously, Nick? A stolen car? Then, bam, a funky smell hits them. Dalton, completely obsessed with Carly, keeps filming. Headlights. Bright, blinding headlights. Polite request to dim? No. Angry Nick launches a beer bottle. Headlights smash. And that's when the car leaves. Late night shenanigans. Someone's secretly filming our sleeping couple. What a creep. They wake up, it's 2 in the afternoon. Game time slipping away. Then, bam, Wade's car's kaput, busted fan belt. He's out, the others are off to the game. But wait, the girls stumble into that awful smell again. Carly, bless her heart, decides to be a hero and promptly faceplants into a pit of dead animals. A hand reaches out. Eek. The guys rescue her. Phew. Then a truck arrives, dumping another thing. The driver grins, pulls out a fake hand. Gotcha. Wade's still stuck without a fan belt, and the driver offers a lift. Muscle man Nick gives Carly his shirt, because, you know, showing off those guns. Oh, and that creep is still lurking. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is one wild ride. A guy tries to sneak a peek at Carly, classic. Stupidly, Carly and Wade hop in his car anyway, while the others ditch him for a football game. Then Carly spots a knife. Yikes. A river blocks their path. Our suspiciously toothed driver suggests a detour to Ambrose, and that's when Carly and Wade bail. Meanwhile, the football fans are stuck in traffic, big time. They wisely turn back. But guess what? Ambrose is a ghost town. Creepy. They see a peeping Tom, then stumble on a funeral. Oh boy. They get a serious scolding, then an apology. Turns out, it's Bo's funeral. Bo, the very guy they were looking for a fan belt from. Talk about a twist. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is wild. They're hunting for someone, and a rendezvous is set, museum style, in half an hour. Someone's crafting a new wax celebrity, or maybe not. Closed, signs, peesh, mere suggestions. Inside, they discover not Paris Hilton lookalikes, but a whole building of wax. Floors, walls, the works. It's a wax wonderland. They uncover the legend of Trudy Sinclair, a wax wizard of Ambrose. A canine companion adds to the eerie ambience. Carly's got a new lead, Vincent, the mysterious wax sculptor. Then, eek, someone outside freaks Carly out, and they're outer there. Meanwhile, Blake's got other priorities, Paige and a certain kind of fun, if you catch my drift. Wade's waiting for a 15-inch fan belt at a gas station. Bo's got or so he says, in a way that might raise an eyebrow. Then, a family tragedy unfolds. The Sinclair story is anything but sweet. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a wild ride. A surgeon, whose license was revoked, mind you, had a kid, Vincent. Their family moved to Ambrose, where mom, Trudy, sculpted wax figures until a brain cyst sent her spiraling. Dad, understandably distraught, offed himself, leaving Vincent and his brother alone with their trauma. So Vincent, being a chip off the old block, sneaks into this creepy house, while Carly waits, dumbly, in the car. Suddenly, busted headlight. Oh, Vincent's exploring a totally legit operating table, when bam! Masked man. Achilles tendon snipped. Face kicked. Meanwhile, Kali's frantically calling for help, but Blake's too busy breaking someone's back to answer. Trapped in the car, Kali's waiting for Wade, holding the key to her freedom, or is it? Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a wild ride. Our heroine drops her phone, clatter, in a desperate escape. Meanwhile, Nick and Dalton, the ultimate bromance, are speeding to the rescue. No regrets, Nick insists, friendship is its own reward. Elsewhere, poor Wade's getting the spa treatment, Vincent's special blend of OIC and eyebrow waxing. Talk about a bad hair day. Then, the torture begins. Helpless as a dripping candle, Wade endures a truly waxing experience. Kali, bless her heart, bursts into a church, only to find a congregation of living statues. Wax figures, but real people? Trudy Sinclair's in a casket. She makes a run for it from Bo, but this guy's a speed demon. Even a hidden helper can't save her. Oh. They haul her inside, strap her to a chair, ouch, and she spots some interesting scars on this guy's wrists. Meanwhile, Nick and Dalton ditch the car and fan out at the gas station, a real tag team effort to stop Kali's impending scream fest. But Bo's got super glue. Problem solved. He pops out, pretends to be all helpful with Nick's sister search. Sneaky. Kali, however, is not having it. Chair rail? More like chair removal rail. She grabs for Nick, but bam. Fingertip gone. The scream? Earth-shattering. Just as Bo goes for the stabby stab, Nick clocks him. Lockdown. Kali's free. Dalton, over at the wax museum, has a major freak out. It's Wade, waxed. A wax celebrity. He tries peeling the hot wax, and let's just say, ouch again. Whoa, Wade's getting skinned alive, repeatedly. Vincent's a total maniac, swinging wildly at Dalton, accidentally smacking Wade instead. Dude's got the eye roll of a seasoned pro. Dalton takes a tumble down the stairs, and bam, Vincent lobs his head off. Seriously? Then, it's off to the workshop with the body in tow. Meanwhile, Nick's frantically searching for car keys and a guy who keeps getting flayed. Kali spills the beans about a mysterious woman, but guess what? Waxed. The whole town's a creepy wax museum. Just when they think it's over, round 3 of the rear end derby begins. Blake, ever the resourceful fellow, flips on the radio, checking voicemails, talk about multitasking under pressure. Paige is about to catch some Zeds when surprise, Vincent bursts in. She makes a daring escape, leaving Vincent in the dust. Blake? Yeah, he's a goner. Paige is hiding out, armed with a metal bar, playing a very tense game of hide and seek in a rusty car, waiting for Vincent to clear out. Vincent finds Paige, bam. She clocks him in splits. But her luck's a one-night stand, and ouch, Vincent pops her cap. Paris Hilton's still got nothing on that headshot. Then, snicker, Vincent films the whole thing, Dalton's camera, naturally. Nick smashes a shop window, pure gangster style, to get Bo's attention, grabs a crossbow, let's do this. But B's marksmanship is sharper, and they're running for their lives. Kali, genius move, pretends to be a wax figure. Talk about method acting. Nick, sharpshooter extraordinaire, nails B with the crossbow, chest and arm. Finally down. They grab his gun, but no ammo? Rookie mistake. Kali's phone's vanished, car jacked by a squirrel, maybe? They hit Bo's place. Kali makes a horrifying discovery, Vincent and Bo? Siamese twins. I kid you not. Inbreeding, people. Their dad did the surgery himself. Yeesh. Bo's trying to pull arrows out, Nick's scoping for an exit, Kali finds their buddies, dead. In a truck. And just when you think it's over, Vincent waltzes in, ready to help his brother. The saga continues. Whoa, bleeding and battered, Bo shoves his brother away. Find the escapees, he roars, make mom proud. Wax-a-licious town, here we come. Seriously, Nicole Kidman could have played Vincent, wouldn't have changed a thing. Downstairs, Kali and Nick trigger a total meltdown, Bo spots the flickering lights. Busted. Dalton, waxed. Wade, double waxed. They escape, but this house is connected to the wax museum. Kali sees the high chairs, Bo's childhood wasn't exactly a picnic. The basement fire, going full inferno. Nick's fighting, but Bo stabs him. Ouch. But Kali, baseball bat justice. Pow, pow, pow. Bo's down. That's hot. As Paris Hilton would say, everything melts into a gooey wax pool. Vincent, brotherly rage. He's after Kali. She tries to reason, he's not they. Whoa, Monster Bo, convinced him? Yeah, right. He kept attacking. Nick, the brave bro, wrestles Vincent, but Vincent's a total powerhouse. Kali, like a superhero, grabs Nick's knife, ouch, and goes stab stab stab. The floor collapses. Talk about a dramatic exit for Vincent. Melting walls, they barely escaped a wax-induced inferno. Next day, big fire, police arrive, rescue. Turns out, Ambrose is a ghost town, abandoned for 10 years. The Sinclair brothers, total serial killers. And the police, totally clueless. Oh, and 3 brothers, not 2, whoops. Truck driver's happy wave? Kali shrugs it off, because, let's face it, this movie was a train wreck.